Welcome back, in continuation of the story. When they finally pulled back from Kiss ING, Louis's heart pounded. His hands trembled. Guilt and excitement collided inside him, leaving him dizzy. "We shouldn't have," he began, voice cracking. But Helen looked at him with tender eyes. "I know. But it felt real. I crossed the line. I cheated." The words echoed in his head like a confession he could never voice. Psychological insight. Cheating doesn't always begin with intent, it often begins with neglect, loneliness, and unspoken needs. But once the line is crossed, there is no undoing it. The guilt becomes a shadow that follows, and the thrill of escape is chained to the fear of discovery. The house was quiet that evening. Rain tapped gently against the windows, a soothing rhythm that masked the storm building inside Joy. Louis had left his phone on the kitchen counter, a rare mistake. Normally, it never left his pocket. Joy walked past it, carrying a basket of laundry. The screen lit up with a vibration. A message preview flashed. "Helen, last night was unforgettable. Can't wait to see you again." The basket slipped from Joy's hands. Clothes tumbled to the floor, but she barely noticed. Her heart pounded, her breath caught in her throat. She grabbed the phone, her fingers trembling. The lock screen was open. Message after message scrolled before her eyes. "You make me feel alive again. I wish we didn't have to hide. I need you." Her vision blurred with tears. Psychological insight. Discovery is the moment the betrayed partner's reality collapsed. In an instant, the person they trusted most becomes the source of their deepest wound. This shock mirrors symptoms of trauma, confusion, disorientation, racing thoughts. The mind struggles to process, how could this happen? Who is this person I loved? Joy stood frozen, phone in hand, until she heard the front door opened. "Hey," Louis called, setting down his bag. "Long day. What's for dinner?" His voice, once familiar and comforting, now sounded like a stranger's. Joy stepped into the doorway, her face pale, her hands shaking as she held out the phone. "Who is Helen?" Louis's world stopped. His blood ran cold. He saw the messages open on the screen. His carefully built tower of lies crumbled in an instant. "Answer me." Joy's voice cracked, a mix of rage and devastation. Louis opened his mouth, but no words came. He reached for her, but she pulled back. "Don't you dare touch me!" she shouted, tears streaming down her face. "How long? How long, Louis?" he stammered. "Joy. I didn't mean for this to happen. Didn't mean." She spat, her chest heaving. "You told her you needed her. You told her she made you feel alive. What about me, Louis? Was I just dead to you?" Psychological insight. The betrayed partner often spirals into self-blame. Was I not enough? Did I do something wrong? But cheating says more about the cheater's unresolved insecurities than the betrayed partner's worth. The tragedy is that betrayal makes the innocent one question themselves most. Louis knelt beside her, guilt heavy in his eyes. "Joy, please. It was a mistake. I was lonely. You were so busy, and I felt invisible. I never stopped loving you." Joy lifted her head, her eyes blazing with fury. "Don't you dare put this on me," she said, her voice trembling. "I gave you everything I had. I trusted you with my whole heart. And instead of telling me how you felt, you choose to crawl into someone else's bed." Louis flinched. The truth in her words cut deeper than any knife. "How many lies, Louis? How many nights did you come home to me after being with her?" He lowered his head. "Too many." Her breath hitched, a sob escaping her lips. She backed away, shaking her head. "I don't even know who you are anymore." Psychological insight. Betrayal trauma often shatters not just trust, but identity. The betrayed partner begins to question their entire past. Was it all a lie? Who was I loving all this time? This destabilization is why infidelity can feel as devastating as grief. Lewis tried again, his voice desperate. Joy, I'm sorry. I'll end it. I'll do anything, therapy, counseling, please, don't leave me. Joy's laugh was hollow, bitter. You should have thought of that before you kissed her. Before you lied to me every single day. She wiped her tears angrily. You've already left me, Lewis. Piece by piece, with every lie. I just didn't see it until now. He whispered to himself, voice breaking, I've destroyed everything. Psychological insight. When betrayal comes to light, it marks a turning point. Both partners stand at a crossroads, confrontation with truth. For the cheater, it is the death of denial. For the betrayed, it is the birth of pain they never asked for. And from here, only two paths remain, the painful work of rebuilding, or the painful choice of walking away. The morning air in Dr. Luke's office was calm, almost too calm. A soft lavender scent lingered in the room, meant to ease tension. The shelves were lined with books on psychology and relationships. On a small table sat 3 chairs, angled in a triangle. Joy sat in one, her arms crossed, her face still swollen from nights of crying. She avoided looking at Lewis. Lewis sat across from her, fidgeting with his hands, his eyes cast downward. Guilt hung heavy on his shoulders. Between them, Dr. Luke adjusted his glasses, speaking with a measured calmness. Thank you both for coming today. I know this is not easy. But facing truth is always the first step toward healing, whether together or apart. Joy let out a bitter laugh. Healing. Tell me, Dr. Luke, how do you heal from being stabbed in the back by the one person you trusted most? Lewis winced. Dr. Luke nodded slowly. That pain is valid, Joy. Betrayal can feel like a death of trust, of safety, of the story you thought you were living. Joy's eyes watered, but her anger held firm. Exactly. And he killed it. Psychological insight. During confrontation, the betrayed partner often needs their pain acknowledged before anything else. The cheater's instinct may be to defend or explain, but true healing cannot begin until the wound itself is seen and validated. Dr. Luke turned to Lewis. Lewis, before we go further, I want you to say one thing. What does Joy deserve to hear right now, in this room? Lewis swallowed hard, glancing briefly at Joy. Her eyes darted away. He whispered, I'm sorry. Truly. I betrayed you, Joy. You didn't deserve this. None of it was your fault. Joy blinked, stunned for a moment. Tears rolled down her cheeks, but she quickly wiped them away. You think sorry fixes this? Do you know what it feels like to question every memory? Every kiss? Every, I love you? Her voice cracked. I can't even look at you without seeing her. Lewis lowered his head, unable to respond. Dr. Luke leaned forward, his tone steady. Joy, you are carrying a heavy truth. Betrayal damages not only trust, but identity. You question yourself, your worth, even your past. That pain is real. And Lewis, your task is not to erase that pain, but to take full ownership of the wound you've caused. Lewis nodded, his voice trembling. I do. I was weak. I felt neglected and invisible, but instead of telling you, I searched for validation somewhere else. That was cowardly. I don't blame you, Joy. I blamed myself. Joy scoffed. Neglected? Invisible? Do you have any idea how hard I worked, for us? The late nights, the sacrifices, the love I poured in. And instead of talking to me, you went looking for someone else to stroke your ego? Psychological insight. Cheating rarely begins with desire, it begins with disconnection. The cheater often feels unseen or inadequate, but instead of communicating their needs, they seek an escape hatch. It is not love they chase, it is validation, excitement, and the illusion of control. Dr. Luke raised his hand gently. Let's pause here. Lewis, what Joy needs most is not excuses. She needs to see that you understand the depth of your betrayal. Can you tell her not why you cheated, but what your choice cost her? It cost you your peace. Your trust. The belief that you were safe with me. It broke the world we built. I took the one thing you gave me freely, your trust, and I shattered it. I destroyed the version of me you loved. And I don't know if I can ever give that back. For the first time, Joy met his gaze. The rawness in his voice cracked something in her. She looked away quickly, but her silence spoke louder than her rage. Dr. Luke leaned back. That honesty is painful, but necessary. Joy, what do you need from Lewis in this moment? Not forever, just now. Joy clenched her jaw. The truth. Always the truth. No more lies, no more half answers. I need to know that when I ask a question, he won't flinch. Because every lie he told before made me feel like a fool. Joy shook her head. I don't want details of what you did with her. I want the truth about you. Why you thought I wasn't enough. Why you decided I wasn't worth honesty. Her voice broke into tears again. Because right now, I feel like nothing. Psychological insight. This is betrayal trauma at its core. The wounded partner internalizes the cheater's actions as a reflection of their worth. Yet, infidelity is never proof of inadequacy. It is proof of the cheater's unresolved fears, insecurities, and inability to confront conflict with maturity. Dr. Luke spoke softly. Joy, you are not nothing. Lewis's actions say more about his emptiness than about your value. But your pain deserves space. And Lewis, your work now is to stop centering yourself and to start holding Joy's pain, without defense. Lewis nodded solemnly. I will. Even if it takes years. Joy wiped her eyes, her voice quiet now. I don't know if I can forgive you. I don't even know if I want to try. Lewis's shoulders sagged. But he nodded. That's fair. I'll wait, whatever it takes. Dr. Luke rose, his voice steady. Today, you both confronted the wound. That alone is a beginning. Healing won't be easy. Trust takes years to build, seconds to shatter, and a lifetime to rebuild. The choice ahead is yours, to rebuild, or to part. But whichever path, truth and dignity must guide you. Psychological insight. In confrontation, we see the two truths of infidelity: the betrayer must face the death of denial, and the betrayed must face the birth of pain. Whether reconciliation or separation follows, this moment sets the stage. For in the end, healing is not about saving the relationship, it's about saving the self. Dr. Luke met her gaze calmly. It's about both of you. Lewis's choices came from his inner world. Your pain, Joy, has stirred an inner world in you too, a storm of doubt and anger. Healing requires facing both mirrors. Joy frowned but didn't protest. Lewis's hands trembled slightly. I'm ready to face mine. Psychological insight. Self-discovery after betrayal is crucial. The cheater must understand the hidden drivers of their actions, not just the surface excuses. And the betrayed partner must separate their own worth from the wound inflicted. By separating your identity from his actions, Dr. Luke said firmly. You are not the cause of his betrayal. His emptiness is not proof of your inadequacy. Joy's tears spilled, but she nodded slowly. Psychological insight. Often, the betrayed partner internalizes blame, while the betrayer externalizes excuses. True healing begins when both reverse this: the betrayer owns their choices, and the betrayed releases misplaced shame. Dr. Luke let the silence linger. Then he said, there it is, the mirror. Lewis, you cheated not because Joy lacked something, but because you feared you lacked everything. Joy, his betrayal made you believe a lie about yourself, that you are not enough. But the truth is, you are enough. His weakness does not define your value. Lewis turned to Joy, his voice urgent. You are enough, Joy. More than enough. My choice was about me, not you. And I hate that I made you believe otherwise. Dr. Luke smiled faintly. This is the seed of healing, not forgiveness yet, but understanding. Healing begins when truth replaces the lies we tell ourselves. Psychological insight. Infidelity forces both partners to face mirrors they would rather avoid. The betrayer must face the emptiness within themselves. The betrayed must confront the false shame placed upon them. Only when both truths are spoken aloud can the possibility of healing, individually or together, begin. The turning point. The room grew still. Joy looked at Lewis, her voice trembling. I don't know if I can ever look at you the same way again. The images, the lies, they replay in my head at night. Sometimes, I think staying would just trap me in that nightmare forever. Lewis's face crumpled. I know. And I don't deserve another chance. But if you gave me one, I'd spend the rest of my life proving it wasn't wasted. Finally, Joy whispered, Lewis. I loved you once with everything I had. And maybe a part of me always will. But love alone isn't enough to erase betrayal. Lewis's eyes brimmed with tears. So, you're saying? Joy nodded slowly, her voice steady despite the pain. I'm saying I need to let go. Not because I don't care, but because I care about myself too. I can't rebuild on ashes. I need to find me again. Lewis buried his face in his hands, shoulders shaking. Dr. Luke placed a gentle hand on the table. Joy, that is a courageous choice. And Lewis, your task now is to honor it, not with words, but with how you live forward. Lewis lifted his head, his voice hoarse. I'll never stop regretting. But maybe this is the consequence I need to truly change. Maybe losing Joy is the mirror that will force me to face myself for good. Joy looked at him, tears glistening. I hope you do change. Not for me, but for you. Because no matter what, I don't want the man I once loved to keep destroying himself. For the first time, their eyes met not as enemies or even as lovers, but as two broken souls acknowledging each other's humanity. Psychological insight. Sometimes, the greatest healing is not reconciliation but release. Cheating fractures trust so deeply that rebuilding may be impossible for some couples. Choosing to part ways does not mean failure, it means honoring the truth of one's limits and choosing peace over endless war. The final words. Dr. Luke leaned back, his voice calm and steady. This is the end of your journey together as partners. But not the end of your healing. Joy, your work is to reclaim your worth. Lewis, your work is to rebuild your integrity. Both roads will be lonely at times, but both can lead to wholeness if you stay committed. Joy whispered, thank you, Dr. Luke. For helping me see that letting go isn't weakness, it's strength. Lewis nodded faintly. And thank you. For helping me finally stop running from myself. They stood, gathering their things. For a moment, Joy hesitated, then reached out and touched Lewis's hand lightly. Goodbye, Lewis. He closed his eyes, tears slipping down his cheeks. Goodbye, Joy. And with that, they walked out of Dr. Luke's office, no longer husband and wife, but individuals standing at the threshold of new lives. Moral lesson for viewers. Have you ever been cheated upon by someone you loved, cherished and trusted in a relationship? Kindly note that, infidelity is not simply a mistake, it is a fracture born from unhealed wounds, fear, and selfishness. Some couples rebuild, others must part ways. But the deepest lesson is this: your worth is never defined by someone else's betrayal, and healing begins when you face the truth within yourself. Kindly like, comment and subscribe to this channel for more emotional, psychological, educative and impactful life-changing stories.